46 seconds. Punches back. Touchdown.
Welcome, everybody. It is the Picking Winners Friday Run Pure Sports show. This is Statsational here with JBC and apparently still celebrating the new year.
Yes. Happy New Year, John.
Yes, Happy New Year to you, sir. I will be seeing you in a few hours. You'll be down here in Tampa for the Carolina game.
Yeah.
The big one of the big games this weekend.
Yes, we're headed to the game with Big Kev and Sully and us.
Yes, it should be quite the scene. So we will we'll be getting together tomorrow for that. That's it's the first game tomorrow, right? 4:30.
4:30.
And so we got a couple of good games tomorrow, and then boy, the Sunday slate is just it is dog crap.
It's brutal.
Sure. It is really bad. There's this. They've done it in baseball, right? So they did the you add playoff teams, and then they're like they did it. Remember, the baseball was the year there was just that one night. It was like a magical last night of the season. I don't know if it was 10 years ago or so, where like almost there were just so many games that meant something. Like a lot of like one game type playoffs, and they go, this would be great if we just expand the playoffs. We'll have more of these.
Yes,
but. Yeah, I mean, you have more of them with the teams in the playoffs, but it doesn't necessarily make the last game of the seasons any better. So, I mean, it's just kind of the luck. Sometimes you're going to get good final games of the year, and sometimes you're not. So you could expand the season in the NFL all you want. It doesn't really mean the games are necessarily going to be more important. Matter of fact, I would think I mean, you're never going to extend it that much, but the more weeks you have mathematically, it's got to be you'd have less of a chance of good of tighter.
Baseball has the least chance of that. Although the teams are generally more packed in, like no team is really winning more than 100 games, like significantly more than 100 games, and no team is losing significantly more than 100 games. So I guess that them being tighter packed in might do it, but
I would have to think the more games you have, the more spread out it's going to.
It's just the difference between the best baseball team and the worst baseball team really isn't that much of a difference compared to other sports.
Is that true? Based on they always say in baseball, right? You've got about
right. So it's like what's the biggest possible spread you could have in baseball right now? Would be what Detroit with Scooball against the fucking Rockies in Detroit, right?
Are you talking about a single game or the? I was just talking about the whole season. Okay, minus. Yeah, in Detroit,
they're laying what 400. That's not really high. Yeah, maybe 500.
Okay, no. If you look at that if you're looking at football in an individual game, for sure. You might have that this week. Bigger money lines. You've had several of them. You've had close to minus 1,000 on some of these. Yeah, you're never going to get that in a baseball game. But I was just saying for the full season. What are the probability of having really good a final day of games has to be higher in the NFL than any other sport.
Oh, for sure, because it's a shorter season.
Because you have a shorter schedule. We talked about this with golf. I actually I was just doing the math on this. With golf, I mean, we're going off on a crazy tangent, but the probability of winning by more strokes if you're in a short field or a large field.
I remember this. Yeah.
We did this, right? We did and I literally just looked this up again.
Yeah, and it's more players means it should be closer.
You have more chance of a higher standard deviation.
Right. So, but that's the thing. It's more chances of it to be closer, but it's also more chance for one guy to shoot like minus 30.
Right. So the probability of someone winning by 5 strokes is greater in a larger field than it is.
Right, which doesn't it's backwards. It doesn't make sense.
It sounds counterintuitive because you're like, you just need one guy to do really well.
Yeah.
But I believe yes, that's correct. So if you have 150 golfers in a field, there's a probability someone's going to be 3+ standard deviations above their mean.
So we saw the Hero World Challenge 2 or 3 weeks ago, and like the lead swung like 4 times on the back 9 when there was only 20 guys.
Right.
So that plays into what we're saying as being correct. Like I know it's
you're also more right. So I mean, you've usually golfers have a much better chance. It's why in DFS you'll see. I think historically we've done better with the shorter fields as well because you are giving the better golfers more of an opportunity to get right. They're not going to get cut.
Right.
You're giving them so the more rounds that you play, they're going to get closer to their mean.
Yeah.
Then of course if you play them one day, it's like you shooting. If you went and had a 3-point shooting contest with Steph Curry, like one shot, you've got a much better shot to beat him than.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was off on a bit of a tangent. The college football went exactly like we thought it was going to go.
Fucking dude, I can't believe Ohio State lost. I fucking ate shit on that.
I think that was probably the most surprising one.
They got bullied on the line so bad, which I mean, in retrospect, after watching Miami against Texas A&M, we kind of probably should have saw that coming, but it was crazy watching it live.
It's not even the results as far as the winners. I mean, some of the totals too. I mean, you're looking at that Oregon game with a 51 total. I mean, what was the halftime score? It was like 3-0 or whatever. 6-0. Yeah, I mean, it was just so.
Texas Tech's quarterback is the worst player in
terrible.
The nation.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. I'm already out of my survivor pool. That lasted.
That lasted like 2 seconds. I mean,
buddy.
I'm kind of surprised. Just to get back on topic, I'm kind of surprised about the spread for this Miami Ole Miss game. Miami's -3.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up. I was actually doing that right before we come there because I have not even looked at these yet myself.
Yes, Morton is complete shit from a butt.
So Miami's -3.
That's crazy to me. That's crazy. Like I'm Ole Miss all day.
That defense is playing well, obviously.
Yeah.
Miami. I mean, they've given up nothing.
Yeah, but Ole Miss could score.
Yeah.
I mean, Trinidad a lot of people looked fucking amazing last night.
What was that?
Trinidad Chambliss looked fucking incredible last night for Ole Miss.
I got to say, this is not the 4 teams we were expecting. Oregon, I'd say you had, kind of an outside.
Oregon, Oregon was only like +1 there or whatever it ended up closing as.
I think they were they closed the favorite.
It flipped right at the end.
Yeah. So I mean that game, of course, but I'm saying when the playoffs started.
Oh, Oregon. I remember Tyler, Easy Money. He texted me asking me about a future, like because I had the futures on Texas
right.
A&M, and they're both out, but he wanted a future at the beginning of the playoff, and I was like, I think Oregon 9-1 they should be down at 5-1 with Georgia. They shouldn't be, because their first round was a free win. They were never losing to James Madison, and then they were never going to have to play a road game either. So they should have had the same odds as the teams that were getting the buys, and they didn't. So Oregon.
Yeah, they essentially correct. Yeah, they essentially had to buy that first game. I wonder if it even helps you a little bit as long as you get out of that game healthy.
It's the injury risk.
Yeah, you've got the injury risk, but if you get out of that healthy, I don't think it's really good to have the amount of time off that these teams have had.
Well, look, you say that, but then look at fucking Alabama. That like they had to go to Oklahoma. Like if it's a competitive game, yeah. But if you're Oregon and you're getting James Madison, then maybe I can see what you're saying. But the injury risk, I still think is too high. I still think you want the bye.
Oh, I don't think you don't want the bye. It's just it's curious. We've got just not nearly enough data to really figure it out.
Right.
I mean, historically, most of these teams, when they were playing these bowl games, they all had a month off or whatever it was. So
right, they should be playing. It should just go right after the like maybe take 1 week off for Army Navy and then right back to it. Like that would be fine.
Well, it's all. I mean, it's all economical and it's all
right.
Under the guise of the schools are off or whatever educational excuse they usually use for these things. Or finals. That was always the excuse. These schools have finals, but I don't think they have final. Yeah, I mean, who knows? But
every school's schedule is different. Like that.
Yeah,
I vividly remember having friends that went to we would start in August at the end of August at Georgia Tech, and then like I know I had friends that went to Stanford that like they wouldn't start until like the end of September or something crazy. Mm-hmm. It's like, so there's really no rhyme or reason to it because some schools are going to push closer to Christmas and some aren't.
Well, we will see, and it's going to take a long time to get that data. If getting that extra rest is hurtful, I think you always kind of want it, but I think most coaches have that in the back of their mind. Like, I just hope we don't come out right. I mean, and then that goes right into the NFL. I mean, that's the big thing this week is, do you rest players for that same reason, especially when you're not going to play next week? If you're a team that's locked in a bye for next week, do you give yourself 2 weeks off of not having your starters in there? I mean, it's an age-old question. I don't have the answer to it. It's worked obviously both ways where guys
but the one tangible thing that you can calculate is that the injury risk is there. So I would rest them. I like that. My general strategy would be just to rest them.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree, because that is the one thing that we can quantify is if you play, you have a chance of being injured. We can't really quantify the rest of it at nearly as easily. But you do look at the NFL with what we've done in the preseason, where these guys basically don't play anymore. And again, can we quantify? It's still speculation, but we look at the early season in the NFL and you go, are these teams playing up to what they're capable of playing early in the season, especially on offense, when they're not playing live, they're not seeing live rounds, they're not getting hit. You can't get hit in practices anymore. So does that affect these teams? I don't know. I mean, that's a question for the coaches. I kind of err on the side with that you're on here. I would rather just make sure I'm getting into the playoffs healthy, especially my quarterback, and I'll take my chances that we're going to work and practice and get all those reps in there. But you know what it is. It's one of those, when it happens, whoever wins, you'll get a team that's going to play all their starters this week, go into the playoffs. They'll play a team that didn't play their starters. And depending on how that game,
how it goes, they'll just frame it however they want.
They'll frame it that way. And it'll be the same thing the following week, where when the team that gets just like I just did, basically with the playoffs, with the college, you go, well, maybe that extra week of rest is not good. You don't know. You just don't have the data. But it is interesting to be able to see which way these coaches go with these things. So, yeah, well, we got the 2 games. So you've got the Miami game -3, Ole Miss. That's 51.5 on the total. And 51.5. I mean, with a Miami team that's really played great defense, you obviously like that at +3 right now. Kind of a quick look at that line. This line obviously just came out not too many hours ago, and 51.5. And then you've got Oregon and Indiana. Now, Indiana just looked dominant, -4 against Oregon, and that line on the total is 47.5.
That seems high to me too.
Yeah, both kind of seem a little.
They both seem high. I mean, I know Ole Miss, I don't like the under as much because they're really not that good on defense, and the offense can really sling it. But my favorite other than the Ole Miss side out of these out of the totals and spreads for these games is the under on the Oregon game. Oregon's offense did not look good against Texas Tech, and Indiana's defense is crazy good, but Oregon's defense shut them out. So, 47.5 seems wildly high to me. It should be like 44.
Yeah, and the Indiana defense has been playing really well. Also, so yeah, I mean I think on the first look, I would agree. I think both of the totals look a little bit high. Do you obviously you like the dog? Do you like Indiana?
No, I think I'll take if I like under, I like Oregon.
You like both. I don't think both dogs. Both unders.
I don't think that the game. I think we're gonna get like a 20-17 type bullshit. And so Oregon with 4, I think 4 is good.
From a perspective, yeah, these weren't the teams, the 1, the 5, the 6, and the 10, not necessarily the teams that we expected. Maybe Oregon, you kind of thought maybe it would be Oregon or Texas Tech, but from a point spread perspective in the market, these are pretty good matchups. I mean,
I like these games a lot better.
Yeah, these are good games. You get some different teams in there, which is nice. And
nobody's won out of this group other than Miami, and Miami hasn't won since 01.
Yeah, but you kind of like that. I think.
Right. I think
from
it's
a perspective, like you have a Miami where it's a popular program, but a team that hasn't necessarily won. I think Notre Dame would almost been. Notre Dame's been in the championship or whatever, but they haven't won a national title in a while. You could throw a few of these teams in. When you get rid of Alabama, you get rid of Georgia. Clemson over recent years, just putting some new teams, I think, in there. I think it does
big
help.
Teams. It's not like they're not big teams. Like Oregon
Yeah.
is a massive brand. Indiana's a massive brand, not as much in football, but in basketball they are. And then Miami, obviously, huge brand. And Ole Miss, I mean, I know they've typically been not very great over the years, but like the last 5 to 10 years, Ole Miss has been right there. So, I like it.
You've also spread it out around the country. Right?
Yes.
So you've got two
Oregon
teams
and Miami are like the two farthest teams away from each other.
It doesn't get much further than that. Yeah, my college roommate's he's got 2 kids. He's got one kid who's in grad school down in South Florida, and he's got his other son is in his pre-med up in Oregon. So I'm like, yeah, and he's in Austin, so he's right in the middle of them both. I'm like, yeah, you couldn't have got further away. So but yeah, I mean, even you've got Oregon and Indiana who played each other this year. They're in the same conference, but I mean, nowhere near each other with the way the conferences are now. So it's kind of good that you got that SEC school, then you've got a Miami, South Florida, totally different. I think it's just a good mix of programs. You don't have 3 SEC schools in there, kind of doing that whole thing or
I can't decide who I want to win. Like I bet on Ole Miss last night to win because their number was stupid. It was like fucking 6-1 or something. And like I think I want Ole Miss to win just because of how messy it would be with Lane Kiffin. Like it's like I feel like that would be amazing.
It's pretty funny. And they lost. I mean, how many of their coaches left as well, right? So they lost
the entire offensive staff except for the guy that calls the plays. Lane let him do that for the playoffs. So they've only got the guy that calls the plays right now.
Which is a big, that's obviously a big
yeah, see, look at this. He went to Mississippi State and he wants Ole Miss to win. It's like everybody, I feel like it's the messiest outcome.
Oh, 100%. It's a lot of I would imagine if you don't have a dog in the fight, I would think most people are rooting for Indiana. They'd love to see, you'd love to see that.
Yeah, I always go back to who is my mom rooting for, and
yes.
and that'll be what the majority are rooting for, and that's Indiana. She's rooting
100%. I went out to dinner with my dad yesterday, and we were kind of watching the games as we were out, and he's of course he's rooting for Indiana. Yeah, if you don't have if your team's not here and you don't have your arch enemy is not in here. If they win, they don't give Lane doesn't get a ring.
No, absolutely not.
There's no way. No,
exactly. He gets nothing but a middle finger.
But we did say, I mean, something kind of has to be done. The problem you have is it's so important to get out there recruiting right away in college that it's tougher to do it what the NFL, the NFL's model where it's not as important. You're not doing anything. There's no free agency yet. The draft doesn't come until April. So you've got time after the Super Bowl to hire your head coach, man. And in college, you've got to get these guys signed before everyone else does. So you're getting that coach in there really quick, but it's not fair to the kids. The whole college system is so screwed up.
Again, contracts. They contracts, and they need to figure out the schedule.
Well, you saw Kyle. Who did they sign on Baylor? I haven't paid that close attention, but did Baylor sign like a former NBA player?
Yeah. So this guy, James Nagy, he was playing for Real Madrid. I think I talked about this last week. He was playing for Real Madrid, and he entered the draft in 2023. Got picked like into the first round or beginning of the second round. Didn't sign. It was like a stash overseas type thing. Never signed with. I think it was the Pistons that took him. And when his contract with Real Madrid was up, he decided to go to Baylor instead of going to the NBA. Probably because they paid more money.
I was going to say he's probably going to get paid more. Yeah. So
yeah.
And how old is he?
21.
All right, so he's still young, but I know there was a lot of outrage from Calipari, Izzo, Mark Few.
Well, I mean, people that have played professionally in Europe have always been able to have done this for years because the kids start playing pro when they're like 15. So they'll go to college over here after they play pro over there. So that's never been a problem. But the problem is that he got drafted and entered the draft, got drafted.
Yeah, well, they're saying the different rules basically for the European players. It's happened in Australia as well. I remember Australia. I remember, God, it was like Seton Hall a long time ago when PJ Kalishma was there. They had like a 27, 28-year-old player out of Australia,
right?
I believe on the roster. So
well,
yeah,
Chris Winkie.
Yeah, Winkie. Well, he played baseball, right? So that
right.
Was
still,
yeah, no,
it's 30.
Look, it's a different. The difference between being an 18-year-old freshman and a 22 or 23-year-old.
Well, it's the same reason BYU can compete with all white dudes is because they're all 25.
Yes, and in basketball, especially, you could do it in basketball. I don't know. I of the major sport between basketball and football for sure, because you don't need as many players, right? And you could play a team type of game in basketball where, if Calipari's going to have 5 kids who are going to the NBA, they're still babies, like they're still young kids, right? And they're still just individual talents. Where, yeah, if you get strong team basketball with
grown men,
yeah, you can compete. You can definitely compete in that world. So, but that's what I used to love about college basketball was the fact that you would get the 4-year, that 4-year team. None of the kids were going to the NBA, but they played really good team basketball. They played whatever.
Well, you do get that now, some because they get paid so much more to stay in college. You do have guys that will stick around now more than you did 10 years ago.
Oh yeah, 100%. I was touching on it, I think, last week because I told you I talked with my buddy who's heavily involved in hockey, and he said it's changed hockey probably more than any other sport because now they're just using it as minor leagues, for the NHL. So Calipari's point was, hey, you get 5 years to do 4, and you could transfer without penalty if your coach is fired or leaves, and you get 2 of those. But other than that, you've got 5 years in total to get your 4 years of eligibility in. Figure out how you're going to do it. If you want to transfer, that basically gives you 1 year to transfer, and that's it, because you're going to lose a year of eligibility unless not a year, but you have to sit out a year.
We were talking about this last week too.
We did, but
whether LeBron could play, LeBron play.
Yeah, Izzo was joking about some of his like Magic coming back and like some of these guys, but LeBron can 100% go play with the way these rules are. Calipari's like, yeah, they're opening them up to lawsuits and everything else. The NCAA, especially having different rules for these NBA for the Europeans that you do for the kids here.
Well, baseball is even worse with the international free agents versus if you're born in the United States having to go in the draft versus Japan where they have to pay a posting fee and like all this bullshit. Like, it's a mess.
Yeah, baseball's always been unique. Yeah, where you're basically just signing. They don't. Well, now they do have an international draft now, right? For the baseball. Forget it. They used to just sign all these guys.
They'll still like sign 14-year-olds in Dominican Republic.
They do, yeah. They've got all those. I've been out of the game for a while, but they always had those. Every MLB team's got like a whole facility down in the Dominican.
Oh, yeah.
And all these Latin Americans.
It's basically
they're getting them at 14, 15.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah, no, it's
the Braves got banned from baseball because he had like they were like circumventing some rule to like get Ronald Acuna when he was like 12 or something. Like it was crazy.
But in soccer,
soccer they sign him when they're 6. Lionel Messi signed with Barcelona when I think he was 8. And he just moved with his family from like Buenos Aires or wherever the fuck he was from, and like Rosario, and fucking moved to Spain. All right.
Well, I'm all for these guys making money. They deserve it. The college players. Somewhere they have to figure out how to make the game.
Yeah, I mean, well, contracts like the pros, just do it exactly like.
No, you're not wrong with the contracts. I like that idea. It's one point you're getting at. I mean, part of it was an illusion, but with a lot of these kids, but the overwhelming majority of student athletes are actually students. I mean, they're not. We just look at the.
Although I was seeing yesterday, they were talking about Fernando Mendoza, and he already has his degree from Cal Berkeley, and he's taking one online class at Indiana.
Yeah, well,
one online class. That's all he's ever going to take at Indiana.
Exactly.
It's like this is a good question though. How many Division I teams could add current LeBron and they win the national championship? I would go with all 300 and whatever. I think every team, even the absolute worst teams, like it could be like a SWAC team and do it. Like Florida.
We're not talking about the best player in the NBA anymore, but he's still pretty
fucking good. Yeah.
It's that's a really good question. Because the NBA, because in college basketball, you really one player can really
just crush,
win it all.
Stephen Curry at Davidson, like they sucked. And
well, you see that a lot when I'm doing before the NCAA tournament, like especially the Calcutta, and I'm trying to figure out, what teams potentially here can go deep that aren't highly ranked. You got to look. I always look at who's got an NBA lottery pick, but the team is not ranked all that high.
Right.
You saw it with one Butler, right? You're like, oh my God, Butler came out of nowhere. Well, guess what? They had
Gordon Hayward. Yeah.
Yeah. They had Gordon Hayward, had a pretty good player on that team. And Davidson, like you said, no one realized Steph Curry at the time. Figuring out who that guy is ahead of time is not always easy. But what I love, college basketball, you look at the guys who had like great programs like a Syracuse. And then all of a sudden they put a superstar on that team. They go win the national championship, right? He always had solid teams because he was a great coach, great system, playing the box and one, whatever, more than that.
But also his assistant coach was having his wife have sex with the players.
I mean, it helps recruiting. Yeah, for sure.
That really happened. And then Boeheim killed a guy.
Yes, I don't know. That is speculated.
So he killed a guy, and the assistant coach his wife was having sex with the players.
That is speculated, but yes, the assistant coach, we do know for a fact that his wife was sleeping with some of the players. So, which, hey, whatever it takes to get the players
bring up any team and probably figure out some bullshit like that.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. They've
Brick killed a guy. Brick killed a guy.
Anyway, let's head over to the NFL and let's see what we got going on here this week in the National Football League. We got a couple of games on Saturday. Those are two of the more meaningful games, potentially at least. For that first game. We will be there for the first one. Tampa, Carolina. Tampa lost 7 of 8 games just to get to this point. The fact that Carolina's the favorite now to win. Okay, let's go over the scenario. I think most people probably know the scenario by now, but if Atlanta wins on Sunday, this game is actually meaningless because Carolina automatically gets in as the divisional winner. There will be a 3-way tie at 8-9 at worst,
which is the most funny. It
would be hysterical. And the fact that it took Atlanta to win against the Rams. By the way, has any team lost more games that they might have? Their games that they lost, they were probably a larger favorite because I just think about it in survivor terms. I'm like, they've lost so many games as a touchdown or more favorite.
Yeah, they've lost
more than anyone else.
4. They lost the game against the 49ers when the 49ers didn't have any of their players. They lost to Carolina.
Yep.
They lost to Atlanta.
Yep.
And then they lost the Philly game, Seattle was the other one? So, 3 times they lost as
3 times, yeah. And they lost. And it's also luck of
Green Bay. Although Green Bay lost as a 14.
Green Bay was the other team. Yeah.
Green Bay's lost as a big favorite several times.
I don't think any team has actually changed from both sides how survivor pools went this year more than Carolina. Yeah, because Carolina's had big wins,
and then they knocked everybody out when they played New Orleans.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. So they probably had the Rams in Carolina have had 2 of the more they've impacted survivor pools maybe as much as if not more than any other teams this year. Yeah. But this game, so we've got about now. I was just doing the math before we went on here. It's about a 75% probability if you just look at what if you look at both money lines. And kind of take it big.
Parlay Tampa and Saints, yeah.
Right. So if you want to figure that out at home, you just figure out every scenario. They've got to equal to 100, so you take a What's the probability? You do all the implied probabilities of Tampa winning and Atlanta winning, Carolina winning, Atlanta winning, and then you take those. You just add up the ones where Atlanta wins and the Carolina wins, and you figure out what the probability is of Carolina making the playoffs. It comes out to about 75%. So, but in this game, they put it early for a reason, because, of course, if Atlanta wins the game, this game doesn't mean anything. So going into this game, it does mean a whole lot, and we'll be there for it. Like I said, for the NFL purposes, Tampa winning this game would be a lot more fun. So then we'll go out on Sunday and watch Atlanta. Again, the fact that Atlanta won that game on Monday is just so unbelievable. But and even after they gave up that lead, which was once they give up the lead,
Atlanta might tie for the division title when they've been mathematically eliminated for a month.
I mean, listen, all three of these teams, whoever doesn't make it, and Atlanta.
The thing is, Carolina is the worst of these teams.
They are the worst of these teams, and they've got the
worst team in the division. I think they're the worst team in the division.
I would agree with you on that as well, because we talked about this. I'm like, right now, the Saints
might be the best team in the division.
They might be the best team in the division. So that's actually going to be a very good game. The Saints and Falcons.
Well, Olave has a blood clot.
Yep. Oh, does he? Okay.
Yeah. So he's not playing.
We will get to that one, but Tampa and Carolina, talk to me on this one. We've got a 3-point line, which is very apropos here. You're not paying any juice on DraftKings if you lay the 43.5 is the over -112 on DraftKings. What do you think here on the game we will be at?
So this game happened 2 weeks ago. The Buccaneers were on the road and the spread was bigger. What has changed in 2 weeks to make it change that much? Perception, right? It's not anything on the field. If anything, the Bucs are a little more healthy.
I was going to say, if anything, they've gotten healthier.
It's just because they look like shit last week. But logically speaking, I got to think it's Tampa. Just based on that, like, this is the same two teams we saw 2 weeks ago, and we're getting the same line, even though they're at home now and not on the road, which is dumb. So, yeah.
I'm agreeing with you here. I've got this one. I had it at 4. So I'll take that extra little that point of value here that we're getting, and even saving on the juice here at the plus 100 to lay that 3 with Tampa. I like that quite a bit over on DraftKings. Considering we will be at the Hard Rock, I'll throw their line in. They've got it at 2.5. You got to lay -120. That's 20 cents of juice. We've talked about this before. It's close. I would just take the 3 plus the 100, but that 20 cents off the 3 is fairly close.
I think it depends whether you like the over or the under.
Right, and let's get to that. I like this at 42, so I'm going to take this one to the under. Both of these offenses have been struggling. I wouldn't be shocked to see the Tampa offense finally start to click, but man, it's obviously not trending in the right direction. But I do like the under here at 42. What do you? It's 43.5. I have it at 42 myself. What do you like on the total?
It's kind of interesting. Circa literally just ticked from 43.5 to 44 while I was looking at the screen.
Yep, I'm staring at that also.
And then Westgate's dealing, or Superbook's dealing 43 flat. Like, it's kind of weird how there's like a full point difference across the board. But mentally, I'm thinking under. I don't have much faith in the Panthers to be able to, like, it's not a good matchup for the Panthers. Like, they can't throw the ball, and the Bucs are amazing at stopping the run. So I mean, they won the last one, but I don't see them scoring very many points.
Yeah. All right. So I think we're in agreement here. We're taking the favorite and the under. You'll be rooting the opposite way at the game. I will just root for Tampa. I'll root for the
you dick.
That. Hey, I'm a Tampa local now. So
yes, you are. You've lived there quite a long time now.
So I have to root for. I have no Buck gear. Not that I want to wear any.
I think I do. I do.
Well, you do. Yeah, Scott was a Bucks fan. That's
I have all of Scott's Buck gear.
I forgot Scott.
The dog has a Bucks jersey.
Yeah, so this is an extra special. Special matchup.
Well, Sully's a Buck fan too.
True. So, but it should be a good. I mean, it should be good is relative. I mean, the fact that both teams are going for the playoffs, it'll be a fun match.
They are certainly two pro football teams that will be playing a game that's
exactly. Well, we got another game that is meaningful. Both of these teams are in the playoffs in the night game. So what do we got here? So I made some notes. Seattle can clinch the NFC West with division and the NFC's number one.
Yeah, whoever
seed.
wins gets the 1 seed.
Right. So that's what we're playing for here, which is crazy to think San Francisco. It's kind of like San Francisco has not been in the discussion for the 1 seed. I feel it's been the Rams and Seattle. Chicago kind of jumped in there a few weeks ago into the mix. And now all of a sudden, like the last week of the year, here's San Francisco with a shot to get the 1 seed. Really, really interesting. This is a team that's been banged up.
I have a future on the beginning of the season, so I'm loving this.
Yeah. Now they're a dog here at home, getting 1.5. You lay minus 105 to get that plus 1.5 with DraftKings. 47.5 is the total. 2.5 over at Circa on this one.
Yeah,
interesting.
I like Seattle. I mean, they just seem like a much better team to me. The 49ers cannot play defense. They cannot fucking play defense. We all saw that last week. And Seattle can play defense. So the best unit on the field to me is Seattle's defense. And the worst unit is by far the 49ers defense. So I'm going with Seattle.
That was a fun game, though, last week.
Yes, that was insane.
I say it all the time. I'm like, everyone talks about, you talk about defense and everything, but at the end of the day,
we want the
kind of game we want to watch.
Yes.
You want to watch. It's a basketball game. It was whoever had the ball last. And quite frankly, in that game, if they had more time, they win the game. By the way, they had 3 timeouts in that game. Plenty of time.
I don't want to talk about how shitty their clock management was.
Plenty of time, and it should never come down. It's like it would have been nice if you scored the last touchdown with no time left on the clock. That would have been awesome. I would have ran the ball, by the way, on that last play because when they were running it earlier in the game.
I would have run it.
They were torching them on the run. I don't think they stop them when they're in pass. They're in pass mentality, pass mode, and they weren't going to stop a run play. And I said it before the play. We'll never know, but at least I know the pass play that they called didn't work.
Yeah.
So at least I have that going for me.
You could also
ran the ball there.
You could run Caleb up the middle.
What's up?
Quarterback draw. Then
I would have just ran it. I mean, Menunge would. I mean, just pound it on it. I would have just ran it. Right up the middle, right at him, and I don't think they were stopping it. But I've got this one at 1.5 as well. I like Seattle as a favorite. Of course, we're kind of worried here with Darnold down at the end of the year. Can Darnold? He still has something. They look great. They're winning games, but you are right. I think the best unit on the field right now in this matchup is going to be Seattle. I've got it 47.5 as well, so I don't love the total. I'm going to lean Seattle though because I do think I do think they're the better team. I don't have too much of a lean on the total. How about you? You obviously you like the Seattle defense. Do you like this to go under, or the fact that
it's going to be raining? It's going to be raining, so I think under.
Well, you got to always be careful with the rain, like I said, because rain will help defense. It does slow down pass rushes as well. So if you get rain without wind, be careful on your.
Yeah, but I mean, I haven't looked too in depth at the wind yet, but I mean, it's fucking Santa Clara, so probably windy.
Yeah, more than likely. If you get the wind and the rain, or if it's real heavy rain, so just keep an eye on that as far as the total goes, and you'll see. They get it wrong a lot with the rain on the total. A lot of time that total will drop unnecessarily.
It's already gone down like half point.
Yeah.
So
you're getting Circa's still at 48.
Yeah. Circa is still at 48. Well, I saw a 48.5 open. Circa's still at 48. DK is 47.5.
Yep. Yeah, most of the books I believe are 47.5. Penny's at 47.5.
I mean, that tick from 48 to 47.5 is important.
No, that's big. Yeah, that's a pretty key number. Not key numbers on totals aren't as important. But
45, 48, 42, 51, 54.
Yep. Absolutely. All right, let's go over to Sunday, and excuse me, we got the 1 o'clocks. Houston is hosting Indianapolis. Man, this Colt. We were talking about the Colts maybe going to the Super Bowl earlier in the year, and they're now playing.
Injuries will get you.
What happened?
The injuries will get you.
They certainly will. They were kind of, they were on a bad trend there. Obviously, before Daniel Jones got hurt, it didn't help them because they haven't won a game since he's been hurt. He was also hurt playing which they didn't look well. So, but Indianapolis is out. And
the schedule got kind of brutal at the end for them.
It did. Houston wins. A Houston win here, is that the division?
No, Jacksonville has the open.
Jacksonville's got the better record, right?
And they're playing Tennessee at home. Jacksonville's got it.
Oh, Jacksonville's clinched the play. I'm trying to see. Yeah, okay.
No, they haven't clinched the division, but they just have to beat the Titans at home.
They've clinched the playoff spot, right? They just have to beat the Titans. So more than likely here, Jacksonville's going to win this division. Houston is going to be playing next week in all likelihood. Are they the best wild card team? If they win this game, they're the best wild card team. So they host a game.
No, I think they're a 7. They're the 7 seed right now.
I gotta look. Someone's got to help me. It gets all confusing with the
all the wild card teams are on the road anyway, right?
Everyone's got the league. We were talking about how bad, not necessarily how bad, but we couldn't figure out who the better teams are. Boy, everyone's kind of separated. Like the good teams have really separated themselves from the rest of the pack. This is some of the best records I've seen.
Yeah,
it doesn't necessarily mean the best teams, but
there's a chance that the 7 seed will have 12 wins.
Yeah, there's a lot of big win teams. You're basically going to have a couple of teams kind of sneak in. You've got that Baltimore-Pittsburgh game, and then of course the Tampa,
and the Carolina game. Yeah.
Other than that, it's really everyone's got a fairly substantial win-loss record. So, all right, with this game, Houston probably doesn't mean anything then. From based on what we figure what's going to happen with Jacksonville, it would take Jacksonville to lose and Houston to win, and they get the division, right?
Right.
So, but they will be playing. Are we worried about Jacksonville's up huge at halftime and Houston just says, you know what, we're going to take the foot off, we're going to take CJ Stroud out. We're going to take some of our pass rushers out. I mean, is there a potential of that? Does it scare you off the game at all?
No, because I like the Colts. So
okay, so you like it even more. All right.
So I think 10 is, even with Leonard, and I think it's a little too much. The Colts don't really have their offensive line does not suck. And, so it's strength for strength. I don't think Houston's going to be able to like really dominate the line of scrimmage like they have in some of these recent games. I think the game's pretty low scoring. So I definitely like the 10 in the under. So little correlated parlay there.
We've got a lot of agreement so far. I'm with you here. I like the Colts plus the 10. I think it's too many. And I do think there's that added potential. I put a very small probability on it, but it does help me here.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially that second half.
I mean, you have to pull Stroud if the Colts, if the Jaguars are up 35-0.
I think you do. I think you start pulling players in the second half here, and there's a very good likelihood that happens with the Jacksonville game. So I think that just adds, even if it adds 5%, that's enough for me when I like this game regardless with Indianapolis here getting. But I would have put this at 7 points. I think the 10 is a little much. And it similar to the end of the year, I think, or the beginning of the year. I think sometimes at the end of the year we get a little over. You talk about your mom. Who's your mom rooting for the playoffs? Well, by the way, my mom won your league. By the way,
yes,
we had to throw.
She did by a lot.
Yeah, and
I think that's 3 times in 4 years that she's won.
She's crowing about that. But I use my mom as a barometer, as in, this is for fantasy purposes. She's like, you got to tell me who's playing for something and who's. I'm like, if they're playing, like they're playing. I mean,
right.
She's worried about. Yeah. She's worried about all that. But I think you see it oftentimes in the line, especially the last week of the year, where we overvalue teams that are playing for something, as if it's never happened that a team that was out of it upset the team that was playing for their playoff life.
Oh yeah,
it happens every year. And we always look at it like, well, they're playing for the playoffs. This other team's out of it. They're obviously, it's like, no, that team that's out of it's been out of it for like 6 weeks. They played for nothing. Now this is like, hey, you know what? Last game of the year, we can knock.
Okay, let's go. Yeah,
we can knock these guys out, or we could ruin their day. Let's try and win. So not necessarily in this game, but I think overall you'll see a lot of that where I think the teams that are in it against a team that's not, they tend to get overvalued.
I remember we did a study on this. The two of us did probably 10 years ago. And if you blind bet teams that are playing to get in, like not necessarily the situation where they're like already clinched like this, but if a team has to win to get in against a team that is completely out of it, if you just blind bet the team that's out of it against the spread, it's like 60%.
Yeah, it's always been very good. I don't think the market's caught up on that. The one they caught up on was early in the year, and I think ESPN wound up showing this like 3 or 4 years.
The giant spreads in week 1.
It totally ruined it. Yeah, because you basically blind bet the teams that had missed the playoffs against teams that were in the playoffs in week 1 and 2. And I mean, it was an insane. I did it for years, and it was just a cash cow. And then ESPN showed it a few years ago, and it's been terrible. You can't use that angle anymore.
I've never looked at this one, but that's an interesting theory too.
Blind betting everyone that has an incentive under.
Right. They need to get a certain amount of yards for their incentive.
Oh,
and so
okay.
The lines all get inflated up.
That would take a lot of research to figure that one out. But you can't. I mean, if you've got the time to try to go back and figure that one out, it's a lot tougher to research that. But that would be interesting as well. I wouldn't be shocked if there's some sort of an edge there.
Yeah,
because you're right. That's another one where the entire market's like, and I hear it on. I just heard this on the radio. They're like, well, we're going to get you all the player props, all the players that have incentives built into a contract for the last week, and we're going to be betting all those overs. I'm like, yeah, well,
no, the other team doesn't want you to get that shit.
Well, they don't want you to, and two, the market. No one's betting the unders on.
Look at what the Steelers did last week against the Browns. They literally sacrificed their own playoff lives just to not let Myles Garrett sack
they totally.
So the other guy got like 4.
Yes. Yeah, no, but it's the market as well. I was just proofreading the first 5 chapters. I'm doing a prop book, which I think I told you, and I was just proofreading. It was like chapter 2 that talk about how just very basic, just in props where sometimes you can find an edge because they're going to skew a lot of props to the over because nobody plays the under. I mean, you listen to any of the tout experts. I listen to that Fantasy Sports on Sirius, and these guys, I don't think they've given out the next under that they give out is going to be the first under that these guys give out. They just don't.
Here's the thing: people don't like betting unders, and if you're looking for entertainment value and not like actual winning, then I mean,
100%. No one wants a root for under 4.5 receptions. I mean, it's not the most fun bet to make. I mean, everyone loves yard. The more fun the bet is, the likelihood of it actually being yes, you will get an autograph copy. I also will send you an 8x11 autograph photo.
An 8x11, glamour shot.
Yes, my glamour shot. Of course, Christine gets that, but the the 8x11 glossy, but the speak for yourself. I love, I hate. Yeah, well, there are some people like that, Kevin, as well, but you are in the minority. But but yes, the more exciting the bet is, or the more fun, there's a good chance that that's a worse bet. Anytime touchdowns, first time touchdowns, home runs, goals scored, those are typically, and they're usually one-way markets, which that's a whole nother topic. You don't get to see what the hold is and what the actual vig is, which makes it even easier for the sportsbook to go ahead and screw you on those. So be careful. If you're doing it for entertainment, like you said, I talk to people. My cousin, she loves that. Women are betting at, that's the highest demographic as far as growth in betting is women. And she bets all these prop SGPs and everything else. And if you try to explain to her why the bet's wrong, they don't care. Like, or why, not that it's the wrong bet, or why you're getting screwed on they don't care. She wants to be able to have an SGP. She'll have action on the Tampa.
I get it.
That's it. And I get it. But as long as you know that's why you're playing, it's like I can tell you why scratch offs are terrible. But if you understand they're terrible and you're going to go play them anyway.
I still love that shit.
Yeah, but listen, you want to get me a birthday gift? You want to get me get me a damn scratch off.
Dude. Okay. So Jessica, my wife, the other day, she comes home from the company Christmas party, and her boss bought her a scratch off ticket as a Christmas gift.
I love it.
I was like, this is absolutely amazing.
My go-to to any older member of the family who's like, I just had one of my uncle's 90th birthday party. Like, what am I going to get him at 90? So either you're getting booze and they just stopped drinking. Supposedly they just stopped drinking because of health. But I'm like, scratch offs are the next best thing.
I've done scratch offs for my dad more than once.
Yeah, I got my sister's boyfriend got me got me scratch offs this year. I was like, now there you go. Someone finally shopped for me correctly. Yeah.
We need to get Snyder to do a show where he goes over his process for beating slot machines. He does like advantage play on slots.
I love.
There's some
massive,
dude. It's amazing.
Panels.
We were in Arizona, and literally everybody from DraftKings and everybody that was there for the golf final was just enamored with Snyder telling everybody how to beat slot machines. He was explaining his whole process.
I was at a blackjack table in Reno. God, 25. I don't even want to tell you why I was there 25 years ago, whatever it was.
Oh, I remember why you were there.
I think I told you this.
Yes.
Yeah. And I got a guy playing like $1,000 hands and telling me that his wife is the best slot player on the planet. And I'm like, I mean, the skill is figuring out which machine is paying out the least amount or paying out the most.
No, the skill is finding the machines that like where if it's a certain thing on the screen, then you actually have an advantage.
Yes, there are.
Like, they don't have a lot of those machines nowadays, but they do exist.
There's 99% payout machines.
Snyder's out there in bumblefuck Nebraska. Like they definitely have machines like that out there.
Yeah, you're getting like 99% payouts. I forget what the min is in Vegas. 90%, whatever it is. Yeah.
So you're the best player on the slot machine.
We don't want to take your action here, sir.
Yeah. Oh man.
It's actually a good. I know obviously he's joking. But that's all you need to know is there's only two games where the casino won't take your action. That's blackjack if you are a card counter, and sports.
Yeah.
So that tells you all you need to know about which are the potential where you could potentially beat the house.
Yeah, I mean, you had that case with Phil Ivey a few years ago where he was playing
different. Now he was playing not Pike, he was playing Baccarat.
And with the rigged deck. Yeah.
Right, but it wasn't necessarily his play. That was right. There was a series of things.
That was a fascinating story.
Unbelievably great story.
Well, I was like, no, fuck them. Like, no, pay him his money. Fuck you.
100%. But you're never going to win against I knew he was going to lose, and he was also 100% correct.
In the right, yes.
He did nothing. He certainly didn't do anything wrong. Illegal. If the casino agrees, it became a contract as far as I'm concerned. He asked for specific. For those who don't know, I mean, he got a specific deck. He had a woman who spoke Mandarin or Cantonese, whatever it was, who was working with him, and he requested only dealers to speak who spoke, Chinese dealers that she could speak with. There was a whole bunch of requests, but none of them were illegal. And the casino had at every stop along the way could have said no. So he had the same deck of cards because the way the cards are decked, the way the cards are cut, you can, if you're very good, and you still have to be good at actually reading it, you can see where the high cards are or whatnot.
Yeah, it was you could see like there's one number that's really important in Baccarat. I think maybe it's 9. And
yeah.
The 9s were like marked with something on the edge of the card. So
it's not marked. It's the way they cut. What happens is it's the decks are, the diamonds on the back of the card. I forget which even brand it is. It's the way it's cut. So you could see how, if it's a full diamond, if it's cut in half, the last cut. Again, I've never done it. I just know basically what they were doing.
Story, yeah.
But he asked for. He had asked for like 10 different things, and if playing for the size he was playing, they'll accommodate you. Same thing happened with the guy who beat the Trop in Atlantic City for like a few $1 million in blackjack, and I don't believe he was not even a card counter. He was just taking advantage. He asked them for, hey, it's every advantage he could ask for changes the odds slightly. Better for you, as in, whatever the payout was on blackjack or whatever the surrender rule was. He's like, hey, I want to be able to surrender. They're like, okay, fine. So that drops your percentage down. Then he was taking advantage of all the extras that they were giving. It's kind of like with the sportsbook. If you take advantage of all the boosts, whatever, of course, it's going to help your overall return. So this guy basically asked them for the world. The casino gave it to him. He beats them, and then they go, hey, we don't want you back anymore. So You're never
as long as listen, they can back you off. Like I understand they can back you off, but like you have to pay. Like them not paying Phil Ivey was bullshit.
Apparently he did it in a few casinos, did it in the UK also.
It was
I think
London,
some of them he did get paid. I think Brigada paid him and then they got the money back.
Right. It's something weird. I don't know. The whole
yeah.
That
some paid him, some didn't. Yeah, it's total BS. No, total BS.
Basically, the moral of the story is Snyder is as good as Phil Ivey.
He's as good an advantage player.
Yes.
No doubt. Video poker machines too. It's all about finding the
yes.
You got to find the best payout.
Okay, I remember when I first moved out to Las Vegas, there was a certain video poker machine where one of the games, if you played it perfectly, and like I had like a chart, you're like chasing royals, right. But like if you played it perfectly, it was like plus 1% EV.
There's a 10-6. It's hard to find. I think they're the 10-6 machines, and 10-6 is like the payout between a flush and a full house and a flush.
Something
10-1, 6-1. Most of them are 9-5s, and you got to find
a certain derivative of Deuces Wild. The one that
might have been a specific game. Yeah. Okay.
And it was like, yeah, and so like obviously you need to play like hundreds of thousands of times. Like you need to be just like hitting the button over and over again and like kind of like on autopilot. But like I definitely would go into the casino and fucking just play it sometimes if I was bored.
Well, it's the same thing. I mean, it's the same thing with counting cards. I mean, people are like, oh, you're just going to walk in there and walk out with tens of thousands of dollars. Well, no. I mean, all you're doing is just flipping it to a very small edge. Same thing with sports betting. People are like, oh, you're just going to become a millionaire because you're a great sports bettor. It's a grind. I mean, you're just
in casinos backing you off and like it.
Well, that's the biggest problem. But even if you're getting your action down, of course, your bankroll has a huge part to play in this. And let's say you were betting at a sharper book that was going to allow. But at the end of the day, one, you don't have the ability. There's not as many books that are going to take your action. At least they're going to limit you at some point. Line shopping is a huge factor in your overall return, your ROI at the end of the year. But let's just assume everything works out well for you. Think about you getting if you could get a 5% ROI. I mean, you're having that's a pretty good season if you could have, if you could do a 5%.
Yeah, but I think like a lot of people like don't necessarily understand. Like, so there was a guy in the chat and he posted like his end of year like how he did on DraftKings on the sports book with our picks, and he had risked $62,000 and gotten back 73, and he's like, I don't know if this is good. I was like, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, that's phenomenal. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. No, that's
like insane.
I just did my end of year on the props. It was something like it was a 7-ish ROI, 7%-ish ROI, which is awesome.
Yeah,
you have to look at it in terms of what are your other. I look at what are my other investments that I can make. I could put it in the bank. Same thing you do when you're trading.
Yeah,
it's the whole reason when you look at the Fed and the fight between the Fed and obviously the president's had issues with the Fed. The reason the Fed rate matters is as interest rates go down, I'm more apt to invest in other things. Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep my money in the bank because I'm only getting 1% interest, as opposed to maybe I'll just buy some real estate, or I could get a better return elsewhere. So I look at sports betting the same way. I mean, if I'm going to get a 7 or 8% return, and that's a quick turnaround, right? If I'm typically you're churning it on a daily basis, as opposed to putting it in the bank and getting 2 or 3%, or investing in the market, which maybe I'll get a 6 or 7%, whatever it is. That's how you have to look at it comparatively. Also, when you bet futures, you kind of have to look at what's the cost of my money being out for 6 months. Is it worth the?
I'm typically I don't bet tons of futures for that.
Because what am I going to do now? I've got 10% of my bankroll sitting out there on.
Listen, I know I best ball people love it, but that's another downside of best ball is that your money's locked up.
Yeah, it's not one of my favorite things to do. Again, if you're a smaller player and your bankroll's small,
or if you're like really fucking good at it, like okay, then like
there's some people, of course. But again, if you are a professional, you've got to weigh all of those factors and cost of your cost of funds. is a factor. You've got to compare what could I have done with that money over 6 months.
I mean, I know exactly what I could have done with it. Bring it to the strip club.
Yes, but your ROI could be high there as well. Depends. I've had different outcomes there, but you have to
different outcomes.
It's a
it's a gamble.
You have to. It's always a gamble, but you have to do that assessment. But typically, most people are playing for a small amount, and you're not really worried about it. If I've got, if I have $100 out there in futures for the next, it's not changing. But that's part of why you want to have a bankroll if you're going to do this at a more significant level and understanding what that bankroll is, and there's a lot more calculations than just figuring out who's going to win the games as we're about to get back into here, and who you think is going to win. But having a lot of outs, I don't think people realize how important it is to have multiple outs.
I mean, at the strip club, there are a lot of outs.
Depends. Yeah, it depends on the night.
Depends one.
Yeah.
And what time of day is it?
Yes. And there's a ratio there. I mean, if it's crowded, if you're the only one in there, so there's a lot of factors that go into that as well. Anyway, let's go. By the way, if you don't want to get harassed, don't wear a nice watch, don't wear nice shoes. First things strippers are going to look at. So go in there very,
I'm always dressed like a bum. So
exactly. Yes, but you could come off though.
I think people. I know
exactly. You could come off as like, because nowadays you got all these like tech guys and everything who could come off. That was actually all right. There's a quick strip club. So I think I mentioned this once though. I went to what used to be Scores, and then I think they changed it to Sapphires. And I was there with a bunch of athletes and it was pro athletes. It was in a private room. They had like a party for their best clients. It was Wall Street guys, sports athletes, and tech guys. So it was quite the mix. So it was like all the Wall Street guys were all in suits. The sports guys were kind of a mix. Some of them were suits. Some of them were kind of dressed down. And then you had all the tech guys dressed like the tech guys dressed. This is 15
dressed like I
ago.
dressed, right?
Yeah. So it was quite the mix of people in there. That was the Mickey Rivers story. I think I told you. Mickey Rivers eating shrimp right out of the shrimp bowl and then dipping it right into the big vat of cocktail sauce and offering me some. I'm like, yeah, you know what, Mickey? I think I'm good, bud. Yeah. I was hanging with Anthony Mason there. Rest in peace.
Anthony Mason, what a legend.
A massive human being. Anyway, let's get back to the NFL here. We've got the other game that we're talking about that's going to make a huge significance to who's going to win the NFC South. The Falcons are hosting the Saints. Both of these teams kind of oddly enough, these are the two teams playing the best right now. And these are the two teams that are out of it in the NFC South. But again, we get that 3.5 point line actually over on DraftKings. You've got 3.5 at some of the sharper books as well. 43.5 is the total. Coming off that big win on Monday night, certainly big win for Carolina on the Monday night game with Atlanta. What do you think here, Atlanta hosting New Orleans?
Olave being out is big. Like, Shuck has played amazing, obviously, but, I don't know how he's going to move the ball as well when now, they traded Shaheed and now Olave's not playing I like the Falcons. I mean, and I like them a lot. Like, they have looked like here's a question for you. Who starts at quarterback for the Falcons next year?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's Cousins, right?
I don't think so. But I mean, yeah, they look. I don't know. Cousins had a great press conference though. I learned a lot. He was talking about the difference in players, reading defenses, and
yeah, that was good.
Which was good. I love hearing that stuff. But I don't know. You've got to kind of move on. I think at this point. How old is Cousins?
38, probably.
Yeah. I mean, it's a winnable division.
Yeah, I mean,
so if your goal is to just win the division.
And Bijan, how many more years? Like you talk about kicking the can down the road. How many more years is Bijan going to be this dominant? Yeah,
you have a limited.
We saw it with Billy. Barkley kind of fell off this year.
100%. I mean, you've got I mean, it's probably a 5-year shelf life to be at that level of running back. So
you don't want to do another rookie quarterback. I would just throw Cousins back out.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you might be right. Maybe you go one more shot at it, and you could win a division with him. You know, I mean, think how bad he was when earlier this year.
This is another viable answer, I think.
Yeah.
But you know,
who else is available?
For this game, yeah, Atlanta and the over. I think
I'm leaning Atlanta here as well. I hate that I'm agreeing with you on all of these. So, you like the over?
Yeah.
On this game. All right. So we'll disagree a little bit there. I kind of like the under a bit. I made this one 41.5. But we'll see. I mean, this Atlanta offense is obviously playing a whole lot better now than they have all year. So you got to factor that into the equation, and so have the Saints. I mean, with Chuck at the quarterback. So my number may be off on the total. I'm not going to get too. I'm not excited here. It's not a total that I want to bet. My number had this at 4, so I'll take the 3 that we're getting at a lot of these books. 3.5 over on DraftKings, 14 cents ish. Well, you can really Caesars. No, not Caesars. So DraftKings minus 108. Just looking at some of these others who have 3. Oh, Hard Rock by me. I'm only paying 12 cents there, which is it's not too bad to get the 3 minus 120. But yeah, I would lean here towards even more than the lean. I think it's bettable here. The Falcons. I don't necessarily love the total though. For me, I'll take Atlanta. I'll lay the points. And if that, of course, hits, then the game we're going to means absolutely nothing, which I think that's what's going to happen. So I think we get a Tampa win, and Carolina goes to the playoffs. That's what we're saying. Put that parlay in.
We love it.
All right. Game we briefly talked about here. Jacksonville's hosting Tennessee. You've got the Jags minus 13.5 over on DraftKings minus 105, over 47.5 minus 112. You get big disparity here with some of the books. I mean, FanDuel's down to minus 12.5, and then you look at Pinnacle's minus 13. So you're getting a little bit of differential here on the lines. 47.5. You can get 47s, 48s. What do you think here with Jacksonville and Tennessee?
You know, Trevor has looked just some of those throws he was making last week. He might be the best player in the league right now. He's just on fire. And so, like, I really, really, really think we're going to get a lot of points here because I don't really have that much faith in Jacksonville's defense. So I'd love the over. And gun to my head on a side, I like the Jaguars, but not really as big of a fan on the side as the over.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I have this one at 13, so I'm right at it. As far as the total goes, yeah, they're just playing. Like you said, the offense is playing so much, but I think the Tennessee offense has been much improved as well here. So I kind of like this one to the over, even though my numbers have it to the under. I think this game goes over also. So I don't have a strong opinion. It's not a bettable one for me here, but I'm going to agree with you on both sides. I'll take Jacksonville and the over. I don't disagree. Is he the MVP? They win this game.
Drake May's going to win, I think.
May's going to win the MVP, right? I mean, assuming that they win.
I saw Lawrence was still 25-1, which was kind of crazy to me, but whatever.
He's not going to win because I just feel like, I mean, that's not popularity, but
it's a media. It's a dude. They're
media
the guy on the Patriots.
So when you see the Patriots, and he's kind of been the talk, it hasn't wavered. You know, they haven't wavered on him. It's been the talk since early in the year. It's hard to catch up unless you do something, unless that player falters, which is what happened here with Stafford, who seemed like he had the inside track there.
Yeah, now he's. I think when I saw it, May was minus 245 and Stafford was plus 300, and then Lawrence was at 25-1, and there was one other person that was up there. Can't remember. I'm blanking. It might be. No, it's not Brock Purdy, but. Anyway,
I'm forgetting as well. I don't have it up in front of me, but yeah, like you said, I mean, I can't even see, even if they lose to Miami. I'm not sure if he necessarily loses the award this year, and that's a regular season vote.
Caleb was the other one. Yeah.
Oh, Caleb. Yeah, he's coming on at the end. He won't get it either. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be May. I think it's pretty clear on that one. All right, let's get to the Battle of Ohio here. You got the Bengals minus the 7.5. 44.5 is your total. What do you think here with the meaningless Bengal Browns game?
I mean, the Browns' offensive line is still really beat up. I mean, Shador's playing well for what's going on. I think the Browns poured a lot of their energy into that game last week, and most of their energy in this game is going to be trying to get Myles Garrett that sack to get the record. But I have faith in the Bengals to score on this defense, so I like the Bengals and the over.
You like Bengals over here? I'm going to take the Browns plus the points, and then I like the Browns. I'm going to take the under as well. So I do agree. It'd be nice to see Shador with a little bit better offensive line out there. I will say he does look. He looks better to me. He looks more confident to me, at least, than a lot of these younger quarterbacks. So, and confidence at that position is huge. I like that they throw the ball downfield a little bit more with him. I've talked about this on here a bunch. I like that with the young quarterback. Don't let him read as much. Just let him kind of make some big plays down the field.
He's pretty good at reading defenses, though. Like, I've been impressed.
No, I'm not saying he's bad at it, but what I'm saying, it takes time for a rookie to really just come in and play, and he's and be accurate, not just reading, but be accurate on those short passes. These guys, these defenses are obviously tricky. The defenders can bait you into a lot of throws. Throwing it down the field is kind of you've got one-on-one down the field, and you take your chances. So I always like those type of plays with young quarterbacks. I think we'll get some of that here against the Bengals.
I think Fannon's out.
Yeah, Fannon's out, which hurts. That does hurt.
But tight end is the one position that they have some depth because Njoku's still there.
Yes, and this Bengal team is a spot that you do want to target them against. I think they'll still do well here. Fannin would have been great. I think Fannin would have just lit them up. Shador and Fannin have had a nice connection with each other. But I'll take the points with the Bengals. With the Browns, and I'll take this one.
And another guy, and it's kind of like with your theory with the guys that play well in college and then they do well in the pros when they have bad measurables, like not good measurables, crushed it in college, got drafted not that high and just smashing. Some guys can just fucking play.
I like to have a winning quarterback. I just, if you lost or were underwhelming at a big school, but I don't know, like you go to Ohio State, like you better show me something.
Yeah,
quarterbacking at Ohio State more than just like because you're playing with like 15 NFL players on the rock. It's Alabama's had that problem in the past. Some of them, Georgia. Some of the guys work out. You get a Matt Stafford. But you see a lot of these quarterbacks who aren't that good, who come out of some of the bigger schools. I mean, that was to me Trevor Lawrence. I've been arguing the Trevor Lawrence thing. I'm like, this guy won at every level. His first loss was, I think, in the NFL. Like, I don't remember.
He lost one game in college.
He lost the one college game. I'm like, there's something to that. I think
Right.
So yes, I do prefer, and I think 100% in basketball, in the NBA.
Yeah,
man, if you cannot win if you don't go to the NCAA tournament out of a big conference.
Ben Simmons.
I talked about that forever. I'm like, there's no way. You were just talking about LeBron. Can LeBron go and win a national? And you're like, yeah, there's a pretty good chance he can win national championship with every team. Yeah, because one player means that much. And if you couldn't, at minimum, everyone makes the damn tournament. If you can't even get your team to the tournament,
you suck.
That's
Although I will say this, the one example of that being wrong was Anthony Edwards. Georgia was bad when he was there, and he's been great.
There was another. I've looked at this. Was Dame didn't make the playoff? Dame didn't make the Lillard, I believe.
At Weber State, yeah, probably not.
Yeah, and those especially, I'm like, man, you play at a small school, like you just got to win your conference and get there. I don't think Lillard made it.
Yeah, your boy CJ, he did.
and won.
And won against Duke, yes.
That's another guy you talk about. You're like, okay, no one knew.
Nobody knew who the fuck CJ McCollum was.
Yeah, if you go back in time and you go, oh, well, okay, you got a CJ McCollum on the team. That's not that big of an upset anymore.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah. Is Dylan Harper one of them? Okay.
Yeah, on the Spurs.
Anyway, let's get back to these games. You got the Giants hosting the Cowboys. Cowboys are going to be a road favorite here. 3.5 points, -112 for the Giants, plus the 3.5. Over 49.5, -120 on the total. What do you think?
I kind of liked what I saw from the Giants last week. I know it was the Raiders, but like Dart looked pretty good. I don't think the Giants are going to have much trouble scoring in this game. So I like the points, 3.5 with New York.
And the over?
I'm less confident in the total because it's kind of like off the top of my head, I would have liked the over, but the market's going the other way, so I'm probably just not going to take it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a weather thing. I haven't looked at weather. I really should have.
Right.
There's some 50s out there.
It's moved so much down that it makes me think it's a weather thing.
Exactly. So yeah, I think no weather here. This just looks like a low total to me. I agree with you on the Giants though. I like the Giants plus the 3.5. It's been a crazy season, I think, for both of them. A lot of I think they're both kind of looking forward to the season ending. But one thing we know is the Dallas defense not very strong. Dallas offense has been pretty good all year. So I kind of like this game to the over if there's no weather issues, but we'll have to look at that. I agree with you though. I know last week the Vegas kind of packed it in and kind of showed their hand, not playing Crosby, not playing.
Dude, they should take that pick away from them.
They really should. I mean, it's. I don't know if I've ever seen that in the NFL.
That was the first time I've ever seen a team actually tank a game.
Yeah, it's and the line moved. The line didn't move enough. Obviously, right. You had that one. You had the Giants in that one, and it only moved a point and a half or something like that with all those players sitting. So, but I'll take the Giants here in this one. I'll take the home dog, the 3.5, and weather pending, I like the over. All right, Vikings laying. This one's kind of all over the place. The DraftKings has this at the highest number of these major books here at -8.5, -105. Green Bay is getting the total is 35.5 to the over. So Green Bay getting 8.5 over on DraftKings. Obviously, that has to do with the fact that the game is meaningless for Green Bay. Green Bay, are they locked in to?
Yeah, they're last. Yeah,
they're locked into their spot. And they're Minnesota. 7, what's Minnesota playing for? Minnesota's out, obviously.
Yeah.
So Minnesota will just play this game as they have been.
Right.
And thus the line. So always tough to kind of gauge these. 35.5 on the total is just obviously really low. Do you have any opinion on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I like Minnesota. I think Green Bay's going to pack it in, not really play anybody. They've had injury problems all year, so I don't think anybody's going to play for Green Bay really. So that Minnesota close to full strength, I'm definitely going with the Vikings here.
Yeah, I mean, well, the Viking defense too, which has been very good all season.
I don't see Green Bay scoring like at all.
No, who's going to quarterback Green Bay? Because it's not going to be.
I think it's Malik, right?
Is it going to be Willis? Does help him.
I don't think anybody will play other than him, though. Like it's just
he might
like
be the only one.
Yeah. Like somebody was asking me for a survivor pick, and like they were, listing all the teams that they had left, and I was like, this is it, Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota is going to be a popular pick because you really haven't had too many opportunities to take them, which is why I always tell people, I'm like, yeah, you could look ahead to a degree. But week 18 is always a crapshoot. You just never know which teams are going to be packing it in, and here you go. There you go. Good. Well, thanks, Sox. Thanks for being over here. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's hard to take Green Bay in this spot. I agree. The total. Did you?
I like the under. I don't think Green Bay's going to score.
Do you like this on the under?
Minnesota's defense is great. Green Bay is going to be missing all their guys. Like under.
Yeah, this is not a. I mean, this is not a game I really.
No,
want to
Kevin. Yeah, Kevin says it's not Will. It's just the third string guy.
That's what I figured. So that's obviously lean a little bit more here to the Vikings. It's just not a game I really want to bet.
Clayton Tune.
I just think they're going to have a. I agree with you. I mean, they're Green Bay was going to have a hard time scoring in this game straight up.
Anyway, like Jordan Love could be playing, it would be hard.
This is, I might talk myself into an under. What's the Green Bay? So what's the Green Bay team total? 7.5. You've got
35.5 on 7.
36, 18, and 3.5. So 13?
Mm-hmm. 13.5, 14.5.
Yeah, 13.5. Maybe.
I think I would take under 14.5.
Yeah, under 14.5 for sure. That one, that's the one I would look at. I'd look at that one a little closer. All right, let's head over to the 4 o'clock games. You got Rams, Cardinals. Rams are 8.5 on DraftKings. You're getting a lot of 7.5s elsewhere in the market. 46.5 to the over, minus 105. What do you think on this one? Rams, what are we playing for the Rams? Is it position?
Very little. I think they can move, but I don't think it really matters that much. I think that they're not going to play their guys. I'm not sure if McVay has said that, but I don't think they're going to play their guys.
LA has clinched the playoff berth. They're playing for better seed. 5 through 7 they could get. So
it's just it opened at 14.5. Now it's what 8.5, 7.5. It's one of those games where you kind of have to gamble on whether or not they're gonna play their people. So I mean, even if Stafford's in there, I don't think he plays the whole game. So
do you think this is the line? Do you think this is what the line would have been?
Yeah,
in week 12.
It was 14.5.
Right, because I had this at 13.5 myself.
Right,
straight up, No,
so
I had it 14.
With the situation, you're obviously it's some guesswork, but I think Arizona. I think it's a calculated gamble to take Arizona with the points here, and the under, and just hope that that's how it works out rather than opposite.
They'd have to not play. Certainly Stafford. You would think Stafford.
Adams won't play. Puka won't play.
It's tough to play Stafford. You don't want to play your quarterback here.
This is the one thing. If the Seahawks win and then they're playing for the 5, it's the 5 versus the 6 is really important because then you're playing Carolina instead of Philly.
So do we think the line moves? Well, Seahawks are already favored, obviously.
Right. So it's like the Seahawks game, we will know. So we'll know,
right?
If this, so that may be another factor. He might be correct. Where if the Seahawks win, then the Rams will play to avoid the Eagles, and if the Seahawks lose, then they won't.
Yeah. So what's the matchup? So who's getting the winner of the NFC South?
The 5.
You're getting the strongest wild card team, which would be the Rams if they won this game.
Right. So
which is a big advantage.
If the Rams, but that's the thing. The Seahawks have to win for that.
Correct. But you'll know, right? The Rams get to know that. So the Rams get to know that going in.
So this is a game where you just need to wait until after Saturday night, and then McVay on Sunday will say,
"Okay, all right."
So right. So if you like Seattle, which we do, I think there is some advantage to taking the Cardinals now.
Correct. That no. Well, if you like Seattle, no, that means the Rams are going to that number goes up.
Oh, right. You're right. Sorry.
Yeah. Right. So there's an advantage to taking the Rams. Right. So essentially, we don't think the Rams number comes to. Well, if they announce,
but then there's the off chance that he rests them no matter what.
You have that chance as well. Are they just kind of playing Are they playing these lines are always hard to kind of read. Are they playing the middle? Are the books kind of playing it in between right now?
Yes.
Or
yes,
they are right
because
they're kind of hedging it.
Who's the backup? Stetson Bennett.
So this line is going to move one way or another, is what you're saying.
Yes, this line will move a lot.
And
because it's like if it's the backup quarterback for the Rams against Brissett with fucking McBride and shit, like that's like a 3. That's
if
like
it's the backup. If it's the backup, then Puka's probably not playing either.
If it's the backup and no Puka and no Adams, like
and no Adams,
3-point spread at most.
Right.
Jimmy Garoppolo. Sorry, Jimmy Garoppolo's the backup.
Can you bet? Is there an ARB opportunity here if you like something?
Yes, if you could play it, you could figure out a way to play it both ways.
Well, can you parlay? Can we parlay the Seattle game with this game?
Yes.
Can we parlay both sides?
So you parlay Seattle with the Rams, and you parlay San Francisco with Arizona.
Well, you've got to parlay the money line on the Seattle game because that's the only thing that matters.
Right. Money line on the Seattle game in either direction, and then the spread on this one.
Take both.
Or the money line on this one. Fuck it.
Yeah, you could do that too. Yeah, I mean, either way, you got an ARB opportunity there.
Right.
That's interesting. Yeah, something to look at. But
yeah, I think
if any of you,
Arizona money line right now is interesting to me.
That is. Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah, no, that's all right. If any of you psychos play it, let us know in the our Discord. But it's these are the fun kind of things that you can that you can come up with and get yourself a high edge, potentially get in a very high plus EV situation,
right?
And in a parlay for less risk.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right, the Vikings just picked up to 9.
The Vikings, I'm seeing. I have not seen it move. I saw the total.
The total's coming up too.
Yeah, total just moved it a few plays. 9 at circa. Yeah, I see what you're saying here.
And 37.
8.5. Yeah, if you want to get an 8. Caesar, sorry, BetMGM still has the 8.
Injury information?
I don't know. I could get 8 over at Hard Rock still.
Because all the teams are okay. Yeah, the Vikings injury information is all coming out. Jordan Mason not on the injury report. Hawkinson's out. Aaron Jones is out. JJ McCarthy is in. That's why.
Yeah, they're all moving here. I'm looking.
JJ McCarthy is in for the Vikings.
I'm just going to put a blind. Just put a couple of bucks in Hard Rock because they're late to move it. While we're here, but all right. While I'm doing that, we've got the Bears. They are hosting Detroit. 3-point line here, pretty much everywhere. Minus 102 if you're laying the 350.5 on the total. What do you think with Bears and Lions?
I think over for sure. Over 50.5. I'd love. As far as the side, I mean, I lean toward the Bears, but it's a little disconcerting to know that the Lions already beat them by 30, and their defense could not stop the Lions at all. So, that's obviously not my favorite thing in the world. So I do like the over better than the Bears, but I do like the Bears.
So you like the Bears here? I like the I like the over quite a bit. I'm with you on that. Again, we'll have to look. I didn't look at the weather here. If we have any issues,
I would assume that if it's moving up, then the weather's fine.
Yeah, it should be fine. I think it's a little light on the total. Yeah, I mean, Goff is coming off just an awful game. That
they're going to want to get that taste out of their mouth, regardless.
I think and this is a defense you could certainly do it against. You saw with San Francisco. I mean, those guys were just. I mean, both teams just running wide open all over the place. And I think the Bears are going to put up points as well. I think this will be a close one. I think the Bears are. I said it. Look, bet Bears futures for next year. I don't think this is their year. I think their defense is going to be a lot better. They're going to get some players back, and I think they'll focus on defense next season. I don't think the defense is ready to win, and I could certainly see them lose this game this weekend. So I would lean here towards Detroit. I think we're getting. I just don't know if the Lions are necessarily a worse team than Chicago.
They're not. I think the Lions are the better. But again, they've played worse outside.
Yes, that's the problem. They do play. The Goff has not been as good outdoors, so that is a factor here. But I still like the over. I think both of these defenses can be got, and certainly that Bears defense can. So give me the over. That's one of my favorite plays in good weather this weekend is the over in that game. All right, the Vegas team that apparently dumped to get that number 1 pick. They're hosting the Chiefs, who nearly pulled off the upset last week against Denver. Went right down to the wire. That was the Christmas night game. We've got what, plus 5.5 here with the Raiders at home. 36.5 is the total. What do you think here? Kind of tough one to handicap for me.
Yeah, I mean,
what do you think with the Chiefs?
I don't think there's any way I can take the fucking Raiders right now. Like but on the other hand, Chris Oladokun is a 5-point road favorite. That's a world we live in where Chris Oladokun.
Can they lose? Well, they can't lose. Can they lose the one pick by winning?
No. Well, no, I don't think so.
Because they'll have 3 wins if they won, right?
This is just. I like the Chiefs.
They get all the time. Obviously, they have the Giants.
Also, Kelsey's last game.
Did they play the Titans?
The Raiders, they beat the Titans.
So they would lose that tiebreaker. So they would lose. So winning this game, they would lose the Titans.
Yeah.
Although it'd be a multi-way most likely, and who knows? I don't know. I don't know if they've locked it yet. That's what I'm saying.
I'm taking the Chiefs. God, I fucking hate it. I'm taking Chris Oladokun as a 5-point favorite on the road.
I liked them last week. I'll tell you that. So
yeah.
I did like them. I told you I liked that. I thought they were overvaluing the the injury there with Mahomes. I mean, I'm certainly not betting I'm not betting Vegas. You just can't.
I can't do it.
You can't. So yeah, I don't love it. The total, I mean, 36.5. The whole game is just ugly. You like the total at all?
Travis Kelce overs. How about that?
Ugh, I don't even like that. We just talked about this.
What?
We just talked about this with the props.
But it's his last. Like this one, actually, I think they could
feed him. Yeah, in a game that means
Kobe's
nothing.
Last game.
A game that means nothing and Vegas doesn't care. Yeah, they might just feed him the ball.
Just fucking throw it to Kelce every play.
All right, let's get out of this game. Buffalo is hosting the Jets, 7.5 points. This is another one that was looking at like 16 or something like that on the look ahead. 7.5 now, minus 118. 37.5 is the total on Buffalo and the Jets. Any interest?
Say what?
Any interest in this one, Buffalo?
I thought you said any injuries.
No.
Yeah, I mean without Allen in there, it seems like a lot. It seems like a lot of points. It really does. So I'm going with the Jets and the under. I've got similar feelings to this as the Rams game.
Yeah.
I like the Jets.
Yeah, I don't love it either, but yeah, I'm not betting it. I would say my lean would be the Jets. And would you like? Do you like the over on this?
Under.
You like the under? I have no. I have no. I mean, I guess I'll go with on the under. I don't love it either way. To me, you know what it looks. These are preseason totals. I mean, that's what you're getting
because it's a preseason fucking game.
Basically a preseason game. So
I have,
these 37.5. These are preseason numbers. And you're actually not getting a preseason line. Like you don't get 7.5 lines in the preseason.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
So yeah, I guess you're right. Let's take the Jets here. Now I'm all in. All right. No, I am not all in. I will.
What's the quarterback's name again? Let's see if you got it. Do you know it by now?
Well, I know it's Cook.
Brady Cook. I remember
say Brady Cook, and I was like
Brady Cook.
Wait, did we get Brady wrong last week?
I couldn't think of his last name.
I know.
I thought it was Brady Smith.
No, Cook. I got. Usually, I'm not too good with the names, but that's an easy one. Denver hosting the Chargers. Got a 12.5 point spread on this one. 37.5 is the total.
We got Cole coming in with the JETS when they're fucking 3-100.
That is a brutal organization. All right, what do you think here? We got some. I mean, these are just some awful games on Sunday. Broncos and Chargers. Chargers aren't playing for anything here. Broncos. This is it, right? Win and get the 1 seed.
Yeah. So Denver. Yeah, I think Denver and under. I don't think Chargers are going to be able to put up very many points without any of that offensive line's fucking terrible. And dude, Denver might have 15 sacks in this game.
Yeah, I mean,
like whoever the sacrificial lamb is for the Chargers, who backup quarterback is. Oh, it's fucking
it's Trey Lance.
Dallas.
It's Trey Lance.
Yeah. Trey Lance is going to die on the field.
Yeah, I like Denver here as well.
They're going to kill him, dude.
Yeah, he's going to run a lot. So that's for sure.
Dude, what are the odds that he makes it to the end of the game?
That's a good question. Find out who the
go under on all of his props. Like he's gonna get fucking hurt.
I would assume Herbert's going to be an inactive, so I don't even know who their backup's going to be.
And you know, the guy that gets elevated for the practice squad to back up Lance is going to be like, please God, do not put me in this fucking game.
That's it. You only have upside. If you look good, it'll help you. Might help you get a spot.
Only upside, except for like the concussion.
Except for that part, yeah. Quick release. I hope he has a quick release. That's all. All right, let's head to we got Philly hosting the Commanders. Now the Commanders might have a little chip on their shoulder in this one. They didn't like some of what happened in the game they played a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe a little incentive for there, a little division rivalry. We've got 4.5 over on DraftKings, -105 with the home Eagles favored. 38.5 is the total. What do you think here with Philly and Washington?
I love Washington. You know, I'm not like a firm believer in Tanner McKee, as I assume you are not. And as you said, Washington is got a little chip on their shoulder, and I think that this line is way inflated.
I agree. I actually love Washington in this game.
I love Washington is one of the best bets on the board.
They're winning this game this week.
Yeah.
That is a team they're motivated against a team who just wants to get into the playoffs. They're pretty much their seed's not locked, but they're not really going to be able to improve all that much. So obviously not playing for much here. And would you want with a team that has who has some bad intentions after the big fight that they had a couple of weeks ago? Do I want to put any player of value at risk in this game?
No.
If I'm Philly, absolutely not. I'm not putting any of these guys.
No.
Washington's going to go. Who knows? I mean,
they're going to be going for ankles and knees.
Absolutely. So I'm not playing anyone who I'm worried
nobody.
About.
Not the kicker's not even walking on the field.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah. So give me Washington here. Love them plus the points. I think they win this game. All right, we've got a couple more here. You got the Dolphins are at the Pats. The Patriots are an 11.5-point favorite. 45.5 is the total. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, New England, obviously, they're going to be going full bore, but I do have concerns if the Broncos are up 35-0. Are they going to pull Drake May out? Like, that kind of bothers me a little bit. So I like the Patriots, but I think I might only do first half rather than the whole game.
I'll tell you straight up, I only have this one at 10 anyway.
Yeah,
so I feel
like Miami.
Yeah, so I like Miami, and I think you're in this is like the Colts situation to me with Houston. So I think we're in a similar boat. I think we got a fraction of a chance here that May does not finish the game, which will give us a little bit of an edge here. Like I said, if you do like New England, I think you're playing them like you said first half, and but I like Miami here plus the 11.5. The total. What are you thinking on the total? I think they've got it pretty spot. I had it at 46. I think the total's kind of spot on here. If you do think by chance that May comes out, of course,
yeah,
you're gonna like this
I would lean under. Lean under.
I would agree on that. All right, Pittsburgh is hosting Baltimore. This is the last game of the day, and it's for all the marbles.
Yep.
In the AFC North, you've got the winner in. And Baltimore is going to be a road favorite, 3.5-point favorite. 41.5 is the total. I mean, you've got Tomlin, who seemingly has been able to figure out a way to get him in there year after year. You've got Lamar, who came back off the injury, did not look particularly good, has not played the last couple of weeks. What do we expect here in this game?
I mean, a team as talented as Baltimore, I can't take the Steelers against them on this low of a spread. Baltimore laying the points, Lamar will be out there. I don't. It's just not especially after how well they played last week. Yeah, Baltimore all day.
I'm not as confident, but I will take Baltimore as well. I think Baltimore. I agree. I mean, I think it's the more talented side. I worry about Lamar here. Lamar's playing.
One bet that I do love, you can get 75 to 1 on the Ravens to win the Super Bowl.
Well, I stopped touting that one. I love that we loved them earlier in the year. I still think
I'm saying what you were talking, but I'm saying right now it's 75 to 1.
I think there's ups. Yeah, I mean at 75 to 1, I do.
That's a crazy number.
Crazy. No, there's value there. You're taking this would be the season he goes out and wins when it's all gone crazy, and none of these teams scare me.
You think about when the time Aaron Rodgers finally won the Super Bowl, same situation. They were like fucking 9-7 or 8-8 or some shit.
You know how they made the playoffs that year?
What
was the I forget his name, Deshaun Jackson.
Yes,
returned the punt against the Giants.
Yes,
with like no time left on the clock.
Right. That was the
Giants out. Otherwise, Green Bay doesn't even go to the playoffs that year.
Right, and they won the Super Bowl.
So yes, and in the more recent years here of the NFL, not necessarily the best teams are winning Super Bowls. We've seen, with Tampa and Kansas City and whatnot. But
like right now, to me, the best team is still the Rams. And
yeah, I agree.
A fucking 6 seed.
I liked Houston. I've been pushing Houston all year, and I'm going to stick with Houston here to get there. But someone asked me, it was before Monday night's game. Someone asked me last weekend, and I said, "Give me Rams, Houston." I'm like, I still think the Rams. I agree with you. I still think the Rams.
The problem is they got to go on the road 3 times.
Now they got to go on the road. Both those teams are going to have to win road games.
Jacksonville looks insane too.
Jacksonville right now, yeah, but
then the Broncos are going to have the 1 seed. Like,
you don't want to play. Do you want to? You don't want to play Jack. Who do you not? I
do not want to play the Rams. As a Panthers fan, I do not want to play.
Would you rather play Seattle?
We already beat the Rams. I don't want to play the Rams.
Would you rather play Seattle or the Rams?
Seattle.
Absolutely. What about would you rather play San Francisco?
Yes, San Francisco is the first choice.
You'd rather play,
especially because we could heckle CMC and it would be fucking hilarious if he goes to San Francisco and then loses to the Panthers in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be. Yeah.
That would be fucking hilarious.
It would be. But
it's like I was hoping that Georgia would play Miami.
Right.
That would have
been very good. Yeah. Absolutely would have been. That's your boy. Beck.
Yeah. So
but I mean, I think the 2 teams to me in the AFC, I don't want to play either of those teams from the South right now. Those are the teams that scare me the most. And then I think in the NFC,
it's the Rams and then Seattle.
Yeah, but that's the thing when you talk about Baltimore. Am I afraid? Like, what's the line? What's the worst line on the road for Baltimore right now? Is it at New England? No, it's at Denver probably. At Denver is the biggest line.
No.
Who's the biggest line?
I think
it's at Jacksonville right now.
I think Houston would be the biggest line, but they're not. That's not a possibility.
Houston on my numbers would be the biggest line.
Yeah,
how I have it.
But they can't play away at Houston, or they won't. So yeah, Denver, because
Well, they could play.
Denver has the best home field advantage of every team. Denver has the best home field advantage. And
any matchup pretty much any matchup is always available. You could always play at some point 2 teams.
Right. So,
but all right, yeah. So
they're getting like 5.5. They would be in like the dead zone if they were playing against Denver, like 4.5, 5.5.
Right. But that's not exactly
hard. Yeah, they could win that easy. I know.
So what's the
Baltimore like 75 to 1?
So if you if Baltimore makes it, that pretty much there's no big point spreads at all. There's no touchdown point spreads.
No, and the first game will be at home.
Right. If Pittsburgh makes it, they're a touchdown dog just about
at home. They're a touchdown dog at fucking home.
Yeah, well, they won't have they will have 1 home game. But who they play? Who's that?
Is that Houston? Is it LA?
No. You don't play. You play the worst.
Flux. It's in flux. Let me look.
But basically, if Baltimore wins, you're not going to have anything close to a touchdown spread on the AFC side.
Yeah. So right now, Houston is 5. Chargers are 6. Buffalo is 7. Buffalo is not trying. The Chargers are not trying. So it's Houston. Yeah, they're probably going to get stuck playing Houston.
It's Houston. Baltimore at Houston is not a touchdown.
Well, it's Houston at Baltimore.
Oh, that's right. They're the division winners. So yeah, so that's of course not a touchdown spread.
Yeah, no, they're favored in that game. Or pick one at worst.
They're not favored.
I don't know about that. It depends how Lamar looks on Sunday.
That is definitely true.
If Lamar looks good, then Baltimore will be favored.
But the moral of the story is there's no big. They're all going to be tight spreads relatively. Now the NFC's not that far off. Outside of the winner of this Tampa Carolina, they'll be big dog. Now they're also going to be a home.
No,
field.
the Panthers. I mean, they played the Rams a few weeks ago. They won, but it was at home, and they were a fucking 10-point underdog.
Yeah, 9.5 points, whatever. And they were just a 7.5 point dog to Seattle.
Yeah, like the Panthers are going to be a 10-point underdog against the Rams or Seattle, but not San Francisco.
Hold on. Now, do they make that line? Do they not adjust that line if they come back and play the Rams in the same spot after beating them?
They'll open it at 8, and it'll get bet back up to 10.
Well, that'll tell you everything you need to know. If that
is my prediction. They'll open it at 7, 7.5, 8, and it will get bet up because I'll be taking the Rams in that situation for sure.
I would agree. Yeah, I would like that as well. That'd be interesting to see. But yeah, so that's really the only team, and Tampa will be a slightly. It won't be nearly.
If the Panthers lose, like imagine if the Panthers just get fucking smoked, and then the Falcons win,
then get in.
Then you're looking at a 13-point spread.
I don't know if it's going to get that high.
We suck.
I know it'd be interesting, but that's the only team though. That and the Bucks.
Bills at Jags. What pick?
I'll tell you what my numbers have on that.
I think either Bills are either a slight favorite or it's a pick.
Bills at the Jags would be for me. You'd have it as a pick.
Yeah.
So my numbers right now have it at 2.5. I'm sorry, 2.5.
Bills minus.
Jacksonville 2.5 because I've got Jacksonville.
Well, because the Bills played New England.
And that's basically I've got them even, and that's I've got a 2.25 home field advantage built in.
So well, Jacksonville's home field advantage is shit.
Right.
The Bills played at New England. They were minus 2.5. Is Jacksonville better than New England? Probably a little. So that's why I said pick.
I think you'd be right on where the number would be, and I would probably like Jacksonville.
Right.
In that spot. Yeah. I think it's probably, a lot has to do with how the teams look coming into those situations. But yeah, I think outside of that NFC South winner, and unless Pittsburgh wins this game, I think it's kind of like, I'm not going to be shocked. Give me the team. I mean, you're going to be, if Carolina went to the Super Bowl, you're going to be shocked. I think if Tampa goes to the Super Bowl, you're going to be shocked. And if Pittsburgh went to a Super Bowl, you're going to be shocked. I can't be shocked by any of these other teams.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if I can recall a playoff like that in recent time where.
I mean, I would be surprised if the Bears made it.
I'd be surprised, but you can't be shocked at a team that's won, 12, 13 game, whatever it's been.
Yeah.
I agree. I think
the Bears are going to lose that first game to Green Bay.
I agree. I'm not like I talked about it before. I'm not high on the Bears this year. I think they've just won a lot of games. Maybe they're on the right side of the.
Well, that's as we talked about it 100 times. Caleb Williams,
quarterback's a huge factor.
So, yeah.
And what you've had, look, Denver has been similar. They've seemingly won every close game.
Yeah,
I think they've won every one.
Well, that's Bo Nix, same thing. He's mobile. He can improvise.
So you're getting, but they have a really good defense. So I think that's where their advantage lies. Right. Where I don't know if the Bears are going to be able to sustain it because you've got a lot of offenses that are just going to be able to outscore them, like you saw in that San Francisco game, and just kind of outduel them. But yeah, I think it makes for a real interesting postseason. All right, let's do. You want to do some pick six? Yeah, some DraftKings pick sixes.
Yeah, hold on. Let me pull it up. All right. This is going to be a tough one.
It's not going to be fun.
Why don't we do Saturday because of that?
You want to do a Saturday only?
Yeah, tomorrow.
All
right. Pick 6 for Saturday. All right.
I'll start you off.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold under yards, 245.5.
Sam Darnold under. I think we're going to be behind. And I think we're going to need to throw it. So, BY over.
Going BY over. Okay. I'm going to stick with that game, and I'm going to the other side. Ricky Pearsall, yardage over 41.5.
Ricky Pearsall over 41.5. All right. Mike Evans over 53.5. Oh, I do like over on 10 yards, but the payout will be less because it's correlated with Bryce Young.
Yes. Yeah, I was looking at doing one, and I kind of backed off it for that same reason. I'll give you a guy who's been disappointing. The position's been disappointing. Cade Otton, give me his under 19.5.
Okay, Cade Otton under.
Yes.
And then, oh man, this Egbuka. These Bucks pass your receiving lines are nuts. Yeah, let's go with Kittle over. Okay, Sam Darnold under 245.5 passing yards. Bryce Young over 200.5 passing yards. Ricky Pearsall over 41.5 receiving yards. Mike Evans over 53.5 receiving yards. Cade Otton under 19.5 receiving yards. George Kittle over 61.5 receiving yards. 100 pace, 25-1. Submit. And we're good. All right, I got to play for this 3 p.m. basketball game.
What time you heading?
My flight's at like 5.
You must be pretty close to the airport then.
Yeah. All right,
awesome.
man.
All right.
Later.
Let me know when you get